Talbot Lago T26 GS Coupe par Franay, number 110113, 1947. The short wheelbase, 2,650mm, GP-derived Grand Sport chassis, with independent front suspension by transverse leaf, was developed by Anthony Lago during World War II. It was the direct descendant of the legendary pre-war T150 CSS model and virtually identical, except for considerably more power derived from its new twin-cam 4.5-liter T26 engine. The result was the T26 Grand Sport, an automobile destined for the serious sportsman and chic Parisian society in equal measure. It was a grand gesture and the final flowering in France of the great tradition of the truly custom motor car. The chassis was built to carry coachwork that was the latest in grand style and luxury. The concept was outrageously exclusive and something for the very few, not just because of its price, which was stratospheric, or its limited practicality, which was irrelevant. This was a car that was chic, ritzy, aristocratic, and sharp as a knife all at once. The Grand Sport remained very rare. A maximum of 29 were built on the short wheelbase. 26 cars exist today, all with individually coach-built bodies. Chassis 110121 was first shown at the Paris Salon in October 1949, where it won the One Air Grand Prix. A fascinating picture taken at the salon shows Marlene Dietrich descending elegantly from the car, the crowd surrounding it completely mesmerized, a very rare instance of the occupant upstaging a Grand Sport. The cabriolet was first white and also carried its first grille treatment at the show. The very luxurious interior and fitted luggage, both by Hermes, was bright red leather with white piping. In June 1950, it was shown at the Concordanian, where it won the One Air Grand Prix d'Honneur. In the winter of 1950, 110121 was back with Franay, where it was repainted black and given a new grille to a simpler design. The car was shown on the Talbot stand at the Brussels Auto Show in January of 1951, and again in the Concours de la Grande Cascade in the Bois de Boulogne that summer. After 2 years of show and concours duties, chassis 110121 was sold by Franay to its first owner, a man who manufactured hard candies, but whose name is unknown. The car was brought back to Franay a year later, and it was decided to update the grille in the style of the Ferrari 212 Inter, chassis 0177E, the first Ferrari bodied by Pininfarina that had been built for George Filippinetti. That car had been shown at the Paris Salon in October 1951, and it is highly likely that Marius Franay simply saw the car there and felt inspired. The stands were a few feet apart. Immediately after its completion, 110121 was shown again at the June 1952 Concordanian, fittingly enhanced by a gorgeous Dior model wearing his latest new look creation. The car's final appearance in period was on the Franay stand at the 1953 Paris Salon, where it sold to a butcher from Versailles. In the spring of 1960, the Grand Sport was bought for $800 from a certain M. Barone, who ran a Talbot garage, by Jim Bandy, an American military officer stationed in France. In 1963, Bandy brought the car with him to Baltimore, Maryland. A few years later, he sold it to Tom Owens of Grafton, West Virginia, who also owned a Grand Sport at Coupe, chassis 110101. Owens performed an engine swap on the two cars, taking the engine from 110121, putting it in 110101, and vice versa. The latter car survives in the Mullen Automotive Museum. Sometime in the 1970s, 110121 was acquired from Owens by the well-known Milwaukee collector David Allen, who kept the car for a number of years. In 1992, 110121 was advertised for sale in Hemmings Motor News. By then, the car was partially dismantled. It was bought by the highly regarded Austrian restorer Egon Zwiler. Some years later, Zwiler embarked upon a decade-long mechanical and cosmetic restoration to the highest concours standards, including the original Hermes interior and luggage, which has been expertly restored. The work was completed in 2010. Any Talbot Lago T26 Grand Sport is a very rare and exciting sports car. In addition, chassis 110121 by Franay is a unique one-off cabriolet of great and tasteful beauty, as evidenced by its unparalleled period history at the Paris salons and French concours. It is a compelling and unprecedented combination.